Chaitanya Prabhu Daya karo more. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya karo more. तुम बिना के दयालो जगत संसारे. तुम बिना के दयालो जगत संसारे. श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया करो मोरे. श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया करो मोरे. तुम बिना के दयालो जगत संसारे. तुम बिना के दयालो जगत संसारे. पतिता पावना हेदो तव अवतारा. पतिता पावना हेदो तव अवतारा. मोसम पतिता प्रभो न पैबे आरा. आह प्रभु नित्यानंदा प्रेमानंद सोके. कृपा बलोकन करो आमी बड़ दुखी. दया करो सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई. तव कृपा बले पाए चैतन्य निताई. आह स्वरूप सनातना रूप रघुनाथा. बट जुग श्री जीव प्रभु लोकनाथा. दया करो श्री आचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास. रामचंद्र संग मगे नारोत्तम दासा. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे. हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, so this beautiful Vaishnava bhajan was written by Narottam Das Thakur, and he says, "My dear Lord Chaitanya, please be merciful to me, because who can be more merciful than your Lordship within these three worlds? Your incarnation is just to reclaim the conditioned fallen souls, but I assure you that you will not find a greater fallen soul than me. Therefore, my claim is first. My dear Lord Nityananda, you're always joyful in spiritual bliss. Since you always appear very happy, I have come to you because I am most unhappy. If you kindly put your glance over me, then I may also become happy. My dear Advaita Prabhu, husband of Sita Thakurani, you are so kind. Please be merciful to me. If you are kind to me, naturally Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda will also be kind to me. O Sarup Damodar, personal secretary of Lord Chaitanya, O six Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Jiva Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami. O Logonath Goswami, my beloved spiritual master, Narottam Das, also prays for your mercy. O Srinivasa Acharya, successor to the six Goswamis, please be merciful to me. Narottam Das always desire the company of Ramachandra Chakravarti. So this is a beautiful Vaishnava bhajan, and you can always meditate on the Vaishnava bhajans written by great devotees. Okay, so Narottam Das Thakur is one of the great Vaishnava poet, and he have written this beautiful Vaishnava bhajan. Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshunamitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namah Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhudale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swamine Dinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadharine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So the first chapter was observing the armies in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. We have gone through this last week. So I'll unmute everyone. Can anyone say the 5 reasons why Arjuna lamented? Can also put in the chat.
Compassion.
Yes.
Sin. No enjoyment.
Yes.
Indecision. Family tradition.
Okay, very good. So these were the reasons Arjuna lamented. And there were some reasons why Arjuna won the battlefield. 9 reasons. Anyone know?
Kapidwaja.
The divine
Kapidwaja, that-
chariot.
Kapidwaja. Okay, Amrita will give chance to others. What else?
Gandiv,
Yeah.
Gandiva.
then Kapidwaja,
Yes,
then
yes,
Hanuman
Ramesh
ji-
Prabhu.
Hanumanji sign on the flag.
Yes, that is
Arjuna.
Kapidwaja. Yes, very
And,
good.
then,
Krishna
goddess
present.
of fortune. Goddess
Krishna
of
was there.
fortune.
Goddess of fortune. Yes, Shruti Mataji, Shruti Kirti Mataji.
Yeah, I told the Krishna's presence. as
Krishna's, yes, very good. Yes.
Rishikesh, being Rishikesh.
Rishikesha, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything
Who
else?
is master of senses.
Because they were dharma.
Hmm?
They followed the part of dharma.
Yeah, Dharma. They were on the side of Dharma. Okay. So I think, yes. So that's these are the reasons. So we have already seen that Arjuna was about to fight, but then again, Arjuna explains the reason why not to fight: compassion, no enjoyment, family traditions will be lost, then sin, and then indecision, right? These are all we did last week. So there was Arjuna want to say that he wants to not fight. And then finally, what did Sanjaya say? That Arjuna sat on the chariot. So this is where we end the first chapter. So this week, we're going to do the second chapter in 2 parts. That is because second chapter has more than 70 slokas. So we are going to break it up to half and half. Today we'll do 36 slokas because so much to explain. So this week we'll do half of chapter 2. Okay, so overview of Bhagavad Gita, basically talking about soul and everything. You have finished 18 days course, so you'll be knowing, we'll be asking questions. You can either put in the chat or unmute and say, Shri Bhagavanu Vaja Kutastva Kashmalam Idam Vishame Samupastitam Anarya Jashtam Asvargyam Akirti Karamarjuna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy. So Krishna is saying, Arjuna, what happened to you? You're supposed to be one of the best Kshatriya, right? Even Dronacharya's best student is Arjuna. And then how did these impurities come on you? I mean, he's a Kshatriya, he's supposed to fight, and now he's lamenting, but these are all Krishna's plan. We'll see later on, Krishna smiles. So there's a reason why Krishna smiles after hearing Arjuna surrender to him. So the connecting the previous verses 2.4, 2.5 and 2.6, Arjuna says, Oh Madhusudana. So can someone put in the chat why Krishna is called Madhusudana? Why did he get that name? What does that mean? Or why did Krishna get the name Madhusudana? How can I shoot arrows in battle, O men like Bhishma and Dronacharya? They are my gurus, right? Who are worthy of my worship or destroyer of enemies. So how can, yes, very good. So he is the killer of Madhu demon. So he is called Madhusudana. Okay. Nandita Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Aisvarya Mataji.
And I just want to confirm it's you. Okay, thank you. So
Thank you.
that is one thing. So yes, he's the killer of the demon Madhu. That's why he got the name Madhusudana. Krishna's every name has a meaning. Okay, it's better we know it. Yeah. Okay, Ramesh Prabhu also got it right. So then he says, it would be better to live in this world by begging than to enjoy life by killing these noble elders who are my teachers. If we kill them, the wealth and pleasure we enjoy will be thin with blood. So he is giving so many reasons. There's no enjoyment, right, by killing them. And I'll incur sin because they are my elders, they are my teachers. And we do not even know which result of this war is preferable for us, conquering them or being conquered by them. Even after killing them, we will not desire to live. Yet they have taken the side of the Rashtra and now stand before us on the battlefield. So Arjuna is giving so many reasons, and finally he surrenders to Krishna. Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava prichami tvam dharma sammuda cheta yashreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. So yeah, last week Harsha Mataji posted 1.1 sloka, right? Dhritarashtra Vaja, which you are supposed to memorize. See, when you go to Bhakti Shastri level, there is special exam for sloka recitation. So it's better you start learning now itself, because the more you know the slokas, it's better for you. Okay, they will ask you to recite the sloka. So one of the sloka of important slokas in second chapter is this sloka, little big sloka, but it's okay if you try to understand. Here he says, Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanna. Arjuna, after lamenting, is surrendering to Krishna. So when we have problems in life, when we face so many difficulties, where should we go? We should go to the right authority. Shiksha gurus, Diksha gurus, we have seniors, mentors. We should go to them and surrender and say, see, these are my problems. How do I overcome? Because we may not be able to take the right decision. They might guide us. So Arjuna went to the right person, Krishna, and says, I am your disciple. Till now, Krishna didn't speak a word in the first chapter. He was listening. So we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we listen more and speak less, and from the right source. And this is the quality of a guru. So Krishna proves that he is the best guru here. Akhila Jagat Guru. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of my surly weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me, Krishna. Shreyas means what is best. Now I'm your disciple and a soul surrendered to you. Please instruct me. So now Krishna starts explaining. So Krishna was waiting for that time. And here, so Krishna created all this, right? So here it is said in the first discourse, Arjuna speaks, Krishna listens and remains silent. Arjuna speaks of dharma and adharma as if he knew the secret laws of righteousness and action. Still Krishna remains silent. Perhaps the Lord thought that he should not speak till Arjuna asked him to know the truth. So this is what in the 4th chapter also, Tat vidhi pranipatena pari prashnena sevaya. Unless you ask questions to your spiritual master, you won't be able to advance. So asking questions is very important. The right question to the right person in the right attitude. That is also very important, right? Not to check how much the guru knows, or I know this, let me check whether the teacher knows it. That's all challenging questions. Our intention should be pure. And now Krishna speaks, right? So here what happens? Why is Arjuna having this grief? Because of the threefold mental affliction. Okay. So though a man possess all the power and prosperity in the world and even acquire lordship over the gods, yet it cannot remove the distraction of the mind. Now his mind is tricking him. The disease of the mind cannot abate by feeding it with great wealth, power, and position. To discover this truth, it is the very first step on the spiritual path. Now, those who have started their spiritual journey is the one who actually understood that whatever we try to do, the material world is full of dukkhalayam ashashvatam, and then you go try to get some higher taste or higher happiness. No, so you try to discover the truth that whatever power, wealth, or position we have, the real happiness comes by doing devotional service. Sanjay Vaja, Evam Uktva Rishikesham Gudakesha Parantapa Yayotsya Idi Govindam Uktva Tushnim Babuvaha. Sanjaya said, having thus spoken thus, Arjuna, the chastiser of enemy, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. What does Govinda mean? Okay, I'll unmute. Govinda means what? The term.
God, Bhagwan.
Yes, Krishna, but what does that mean? Govinda.
Go means the cow, mother
Yes,
cow.
cows. Yes.
And he is protector of cows.
Yeah, he's a protector of the cow.
And one more
man.
meaning is
one who gives pleasure to cows
Yes.
and senses.
Yes, yes. Cow and senses, both are right. And Arun Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, one who
Yes.
gives pleasure to senses and cows.
Yeah, so go means cow, senses, Goswamis, go Vardhan, gopis, gopas. So one who give pleasure. And Gopala means one who protects them. So Govinda means protector of the cow. It also means protector of the earth. It also means protector of the souls. So Arjuna tells Sri Krishna that he is not going to fight. He addressed him as Govinda, means 3 meanings. Okay. If we allow him to follow us or direct us, we are assured of proper destiny. So here Arjuna calls him Govinda because Govinda means protector, right? Of the souls, conditioned souls. So Arjuna is saying, you are the protector, Krishna. So I'm surrendering to you. Please protect me. He also protects the cows. Go means different meanings, even the senses, right? So Krishna is addressed. So each term that is used is important. And Rishikesha means master of senses. Rishika means senses. Isha is Lord. Okay, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam. All our senses should be used to serve the master of senses. So Krishna is the master of mind and senses. Why this term is used? Because now Krishna is controlling Arjuna's mind. The subtle hint here is that he, who is the master of senses, will definitely ensure that the events are properly managed. He's the supreme master of everyone's mind and senses, including his own. Even while performing amazing pastimes on the planet Earth, he maintained complete mastery over his mind and senses. So if we want to control our mind and senses, we should surrender to the master of senses, because he is the one who controls. With eyes, you see the beautiful form of the Lord. With tongue, you chant his holy name and taste Krishna Prasad. With ears, you hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Then with hands, you do some service to Krishna or make bhog and offer. So with the feet, you walk to the temple of Krishna, dance in the kirtan. In this way, every senses, if they are used in Krishna's service, like Ambarish Maharaj did, then you can automatically control your mind. So this was my first question in Krishna consciousness, how to control this crazy mind. And my Shiksha Guru was saying, keep chanting, keep chanting Hare Krishna and you will get the answer. So yes, as I kept on chanting, I came to know, yes, that's the technique. Seven mukhehi jihvado. The first thing to control is the tongue. Jihva veko, right? Vacho veko, manasa krodho veko, jihva veko, udaropastha veko. So we need to control by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And who is Gudakesha? Arjuna, right? So Sanjaya refers Arjuna as Gudakesha, one who conquers sleep and laziness. Okay, Arjuna is not tired of feeling weak to fight, nor he is cowardly or afraid to fight. That is why the word Parantapa, one who burns the enemy, is used by Sanjaya. So different terms are used, just understand. Okay. Tam uvaja Hrishikesha prahassan iva bharata senayorubayor madhye visidhantam idam vacha. O descendant of Bharata, at that time Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. Why did Krishna smile here? Anyone know? Smiling. Krishna heard this?
Krishna was smiling because Radha means Krishna was all knowing the dharma and everything. But here Arjuna was telling him about dharma and all that things. So that's why Krishna was smiling here.
Okay. Any other answer? Okay, Ramesh Prabhu gave a nice point. Yes, Leena Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Probably because at that point in time, Krishna was the teacher. He's supposed to be the guru. And he's answering very patiently and lovingly as a teacher is supposed to do.
Okay. Shobana Mataji.
Arjuna now accepted Krishna's guru.
Yes. So Krishna smiles?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Arun Prabhu. That's nice.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Arjuna being a Kshatriya, he was behaving like sannyasi.
Oh, okay. So that's why Krishna was smiling. Okay. Because he wanted to renounce everything and go. Yes, Ketaki.
Krishna wanted Arjuna to be confused. He wanted Arjuna to ask questions. So now that Arjuna is asking, he's smiling that, everything what he wanted is happening now, and now he can impart the knowledge.
Yes, that's the right answer. Yes, all are right in one way, but the thing is, now Krishna is like, this was my plan. So Arjuna was lamenting. That was Krishna's plan. Krishna was controlling Arjuna's mind. Why? Because Krishna can speak Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, Arjuna will come, fight, kill everyone. That's it. End of the war. But then Krishna wants to speak, right? The Bhagavad Gita for all of us. But now Krishna is like, oh, my plan is working. No, that's why. And that's one of the reasons. So why a smile? The smile of Krishna is extremely significant, and we must be grateful to Sage Vyasa for including this detail. It says that Krishna was smiling. The reason is that this is what exactly the Lord intended to happen. This is what Krishna wanted. Krishna plan everything in our life, and even when we are in trouble, we'll be looking at Krishna, and Krishna will be smiling to you, holding the flute. And we'll be like, what, Krishna, why this is happening in my life? But Krishna knows why it's happening. He has a plan for it. I mean, he has a better plan for your life, but we won't be knowing. So this is what Krishna actually wanted to happen. And it was the smile of a father to his child who talks as an adult to impress him. And it is a a nice smile of the wise to an ignorant. Yes, someone told that in the chat that yes, Arjuna was acting like a fool, and Krishna is like, why are you doing this? Nah? And then this is mainly what Krishna intended to happen. Krishna wanted that to happen, and Sanjaya could witness these things happening. Everyone told why Sanjaya could see this. Put in the chat why Sanjaya was able to hear the conversation and see everything sitting in the palace. Informed the Drashna, who's blind, that Arjuna, having thus addressed the Lord, refused to fight. Yes, divine eyes, but gifted by his guru. Who's his guru? Yes, Vyasdev, right? Very good. Everyone is right. So Vyasdev is Sanjaya's guru, and Vyasdev blessed Sanjaya so that he could see what was happening. So this is what Sanjaya concluded by saying that Arjuna concluded, I shall not fight. Okay, this is what he concluded to Krishna. Okay. So the distinction marks that separates wise Jnani and unwise Ajnani. So Krishna spoke laughing with an outburst of joy. The Jnani is always full of joy, he laughs. And unwise Arjuna listened while overpowered by sorrow. So Ajnani is afflicted with sorrow, he weeps. So, okay. Ajnani in the sense for time being. Arjuna knows everything. He's the eternal associate of the Lord. But just he's acting like one of us. Shri Bhagavan Vaja Ashochen Anvashochastvam Prajnavatamscha Bhashase Gatasun Agatasumscha Nanushojanti Pandidaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. What are you doing? Arjuna, Krishna is asking Arjuna, why are you lamenting? See, you, okay, now, why it is said that we should not lament. See, this person is dead and this person is lamenting, but a Pandita is not lamenting. Why should we not lament for the dead? And why should not we lament for the living? This person doesn't have a leg.
Yeah,
you can unmute.
Because they are basically, we are souls, we are Atma, and not the body. And the body is gone, there should not be any grief for the body. Because
so that is for the dead.
Rebirths and rebirths always.
Yes.
So
yes,
every time
Prabhu.
Krishna was there, we are also there.
Yes. So what about this living person? Yeah, attendance can be filled after the class.
Because there are births after births. He must be suffering because of some previous lives karmas.
Yeah, so because of karma.
He does good karmas, then in the future lives he will be having a good life, or maybe he may go to Golok Dham Krishna if he is totally dedicated to Lord Krishna.
Yes.
So not to
yes, Prabhu. Yeah, you can continue. So that means, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just karma coming back, right? So that's why we should not lament for those who are living. Fine. So Prabhu got it right. So yes, everyone is right. So those who died, we know that they are spirit soul. Yes. And suddenly we can't be like, if someone who's so affectionate towards us, close to us, passes away, definitely the soul leaves. We lament because we are not like animals. Even animals lament sometimes, no, when their kith and kin dies. But we have this intelligence to understand that they are not this body, they are spirit soul, and they are going to get a new life or rebirth, or might be they'll get liberation. As Prabhu said, they might go back to Vaikuntha or get liberation, moksha, right? And this person is not having the leg. In Garuda Puran, it is said, Purva Janma Kritam Papam Vyadi Rupena Jayate. Whatever Purva Janma Kritam Papam, whatever Papa, sin we have done in Purva Janma, the previous births, as Prabhu said, we have 84 lakh species of life. Whatever sin we have done, Vyadi Rubena Jaide, that comes as a disease in your life. So why some children are born blind? Why some are born with cancers? All this because of your previous karma. The karma is coming back. So Krishna is saying, why are you lament for that? Those who are living and those who die, because you know what the truth is. And now Krishna starts speaking. Natva eva ham jadunasham natam neme janatipaha nachaivana bhavishyama sarve vayam ataparam. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any one of us cease to be. Krishna breaks two things here. He breaks Mayavadism here. Mayavadis say that we are one with the Lord, or I want to merge with the Lord. But here Krishna says, I exist, you exist. So that means Krishna is separate, and it's not Advaita philosophy, it's Dvaita. We are not one and the same. We are two, super soul and soul. So Paramatma and Atma, we are two. And also Krishna breaks atheism here by saying that atheists or non-devotees, they say that the Lord doesn't exist at all. But here Krishna says, I exist. So Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, he exists, right? So we are not what we think we are. So we think we are this body, but actually we are spirit soul. When we say my hair, my eyes, my hand, we are referring to my. That means, who am I? So our material body is made up of the Panchabhutas, earth, water, fire, air, ether. I'm just skipping these because you all have learned this in level 1, right? And then we have the soul, Atma. We also have a subtle body, right? What is the subtle body made up of? Put in the chat. So we have a gross body made up of Panchabhutas, earth, water, fire, air, ether, Bhumi, Akasha, all that, Analovayu. Then we have a soul, Atma, which is Satchitananda. In between this material gross body and the soul, there's something else, no? Subtle body. What is it made up of? 3 things. Yes, mind, false ego, and intelligence. Very good. Yes. So 3 things: mind, intelligence, and false ego. You can put in the chat too. So living and non-living things, what is that which makes a difference from living and non-living? The presence of soul, right? So the growth or the consciousness is a symptom of soul. The first lesson of Bhagavad Gita, Guhyam, is that Pranamaya Kosha, Annamaya Koshas, these are all the consciousness level, Mataji, different level of consciousness, like Annamaya, where you feel like only eating, then Pranamaya or the Jivamaya, then you have different levels, Jnanamaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. So these are the consciousness level, but I'm asking about the subtle body, which is made up of mind, intelligence, and false ego. When a soul leaves the body, the subtle body also leaves with it. Okay, so the first lesson is, we are not this body, you know, the car and the driver. Driver is driving the car. Okay, there might be an automatic car, but still there should be some engine or some power to pull it, right, to make it move. So like that, similarly, our body moves because of the presence of soul. So once Srila Prabhupada was going for morning walk, and there was a shop with all these garments, dress shop. So they have a doll on which they exhibit the dress. So Prabhupada is like, why nobody is getting attracted to the doll? But instead, a female stands there with a nice sari worn, and all will look at her. Why? The difference? Because of the presence of soul. The soul is the one which gives the spark, right? Once the soul leaves the body, then it's of no use. So where is the soul situated in our body? You can unmute.
Soul is in the mind, and it is around 1 by.
It is in the heart.
Heart and 10.
Heart.
1/10,000.
Yes, it's in the heart, and we can't see it because it's 1 by 10,000, the tip of the hair. Okay, so all of you find out the question. What happens during the time of heart transplantation? You remove one's heart, which is not working, defective, and you put another person's heart there. So then what happens to the soul? Where does the soul go? Is there 2 souls, or what happens? Just get the answer towards the end of the class. We'll discuss. So the soul is situated in the heart. Krishna says in so many places in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtam, 15.15. Krishna says the heart, the soul is in the heart, and Krishna resides there as super soul, and we are the soul. And also Ishvara sarva bhutana hridesharjan tishtati. Krishna says that he is in the heart of the living entities. The soul is situated in the heart. Soul gets transferred to the new heart. Yeah, but how? That's my question. Where does that soul go then? There is a time, no, when the old heart is removed and the new heart is placed. Okay, so we'll discuss towards the end. So bird in the cage. Now what happened is, there is a bird and there's cage. You keep on cleaning the cage with nice soap, water, and everything. If you don't give food to the bird, what happens? The bird will die. Similarly, we have a soul. If you don't nourish your soul, just take care of this external body, which is anyway going to die. Narad Muni once asked in Bhagavatam, whom does the body belongs to? Does it belongs to our parents because they gave this body? Does it belongs to our wife, husband, and children because they give pleasure to it? Does it belong to the friends, or does it belongs to the vulture and all these kind of worms which eat them? Or does it belong to the fire which is burning it? Does it belong to the earth? where does it belong to? It belongs to Krishna, because he gave this, right? Material nature gave it under the supervision of Krishna. So we need to nourish our soul by giving it some kind of spiritual happiness. That is the Hare Krishna mantra: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It belongs to Krishna. So there never was there a time when Krishna says, I did not exist, nor this king, nor in the future they shall cease to be. So he said about the properties of the soul. And this is a great important sloka you need to memorize. Dehinosmin yada dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tada dehandara praptir dhiras tatra namuhyati. Dehinosmin yada dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. The body keeps changing, right? From your childhood to youth to old age, right? Similarly, at the time of death, what happens? The soul leaves one body and tada dehandara prapti. It transmigrates to another body. And an intelligent person is not bewildered by such a change. So you can see the spark that's in the heart, right? So it's the same. The soul is the same, but the body keeps changing from childhood to youth to old age. And then what happens at the time of death? It transfers, it transmigrates to another body. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes to another body at the time of death, and a sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Okay, so then what happens? So at the time of death, the soul transmigrates to another body. So is our next body ready by now? Or when does it, or how does it get ready? Or is the next body ready? What do you think?
No, next body is not ready, Mataji, because
when will it be ready?
Yeah, it may be ready when maybe like whatever punyas we have done, we go to suppose Swargalok, and then when punyas are over,
yes,
soul will be transferred to the new body.
Yes,
so
but
about the bad karma.
Yes, so what is it depending on? Like the next body, the preparation of next body.
Whatever we do in this life,
yes,
whatever like all the gunas and everything that we have learned so far, whatever we are compiling, it will either take us to the upper side or the lower side.
Yes,
so
based on that
decides based on that.
Whatever karma we are doing now, because yes, according to that. So that means, yes, Neha Mataji, like to add something?
I don't know if I'm correct, but based on the last consciousness that you have while we die, I'm not sure.
That's very nice. Yes, that's from the 8th chapter, right? Andakalesha mamiva smaran muktva kalaivaram, and Krishna says, yam vapi smaran bhavam tejat ande kalaivaram. So whatever consciousness, you know the story of Bharat Maharaj, he became a deer at the end. No, whatever consciousness, that is also true. But then everyone can't be Bharat Maharaj, or everyone can't be Ajamila who thinks of Narayan, right, can get a second chance. So this life is a preparation for the next life. It's getting prepared. We can't say the body is not ready. It's getting ready. For example, I'm staying in a rented house and I need to vacate this house. So I have my things, my luggage and everything. Now I need to get another apartment ready. Unless I book or pay advance for the next apartment, I can't shift from here. Where will I keep my things, right? So the next house should be ready, and then only I can vacate from this house. Similarly, our next body is getting ready, and then our soul leaves. Yes, and based on karma, if you do a lot of punya karma, going to the heavenly planets, you enjoy there, and then again come back, take birth again, right? So till then, the body is getting prepared based on the karma which you did. And as Mataji said, your consciousness. But if you take to Krishna consciousness, you're chanting Hare Krishna mantra, it's guaranteed that you'll never go down to animal species of life. You will definitely get a human form. But human form of life is not a guarantee that next life you will get a human form. No. If we do some abominable act, killing someone and loot, so many bad things, definitely we go down, right? Material nature will not give you the right body. So you have sandalwood at home and you cut it, use it as firewood. What is the use? Now, similarly, if you get a human form of life and you don't use it in a proper way, we use like animal, eating, mating, sleeping, and defending, ahara nidra bhaya maidunam, not doing our dharma, that's a problem. So initially, when you are in LKG or UKG, you have a small cycle and we ride it, and later on, as we grow, we get a bigger cycle. In college, might be we'll take a scooty or something. Later on, we might drive a car. So the driver, the same person is driving. Similarly, our body is changing. Externally, the vehicle is changing, but the driver is same, the soul is same. And once my car is broken down or it's not no use, I get a new car. So I change from the driver's seat, from this car to the next car. So this is what is happening at the time of death. So the soul leaves the body, goes to another body. It's a transmigration. My soul have been a crocodile. My soul have been a monkey. My soul have been in the body, not monkey, in the body of the monkey, right? So we have gone through different species of life. It said Jalaja Navalakshani, 9 lakh species in aquatics. And there's so many species, 84 lakh species of life. And what about humans? Chatur Lakshani Manava, 4 lakh species of humans. How can it be 4 lakh species? We're all Homo sapiens. But how is that 4 lakhs coming? Anyone knows? Where is on what basis is the 4 lakhs human species there? So we transmigrate. Yes, Mataji, you can unmute. Shruti Mataji. Based on that guna. Okay. Anything else? Based on what?
The karmic cycles, the birth and death cycles, based on the type of karma we do, the actions. We take the life cycle which has, right? And ultimately, even I had a lot of queries like
but 4 lakh yeah, I'm asking the question is, it is like said 4 lakh human species, I mean human form. So this what does that mean? Dinesh Prabhu got it right. Based on consciousness. Okay. So Mataji was saying about different koshas, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Jivamaya, Anandamaya kosha, based on consciousness. There are human beings who just don't know that we are spirit soul. They think we are this body and they live for this body. There are someone who knows about Shastras and they know that they are spirit soul. Right? The different consciousness. And based on the form, like we are not looking like an African. We are not looking like a Chinese person. So based on the form, based on your consciousness, there are 4 lakh species. So we have come to a higher consciousness, kind of, to have a spiritual life, starting a spiritual journey. It's a kind of higher consciousness. To get a human form is very rare. To get a nice consciousness is very, very rare. So we should see how fortunate we are. Okay, now the soul part is, so now Krishna is answering the question, right? There's no sin incurring because Arjuna, you're not killing them. You are just killing the body. The spirit soul is still alive, right? And so we need not be compassionate for them because they are spirit soul, not the body. And now Krishna says about enjoyment. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shidoshna sukha dukkada agama paino anityastamsi dakshasva bharada. So happiness and distress keep happening, right? Summer and winter keep happening. Similarly, happiness and distress keep happening. So son of Kunti, non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course. I like appearance and disappearance of winter and summer. It keeps happening, right? They arise from sense perception of son of Bharata. One must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So you are saying that you can't be happy, no enjoyment. No, it keeps happening. There is happiness and distress keep coming in our life. So that which pervades the whole body, you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy the soul. Now we'll see the different properties of the soul. Na jayate mriyate va katashin nayam bhutva bhavitavana bhuya ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. For the soul, there is no birth, no death at any time. Right? It is Satchidananda, it's eternal, it's unborn, ever existing. Right? Krishna is also Satchidananda Vigraha, the soul is also. So we are qualitatively same, but quantitatively different. This is called what philosophy? Can you put in the chat? It's not Advaita, it's not Dvaita. What is this philosophy saying? That we are qualitatively same with the Lord and quantitatively different from the Lord. Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grihnadi naroparani tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyadi navani dehi. Yes, Arun Prabhu, got it right. Achintya Beda Abeda Tattvam. Very nice. This is called Achintya Beda Abeda, in the sense we are at the same time same with the Lord and also at the same time different from the Lord. Right? So the Mayavadis say we are same with the Lord. Advaita means we are one with the Lord. Yes, we agree we are one in quality. And Dvaita says we are not one, we are two. Like Madhvacharya said, we are two. So we are not same. Yes, we are not same in quantity. Krishna is so unlimited. We are just a spark. And in quality, we are same. So at the same simultaneously, we are same and as well as different from the Lord. This is called Achintya Beda Abeda Tattvam, given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's what this Gaudiya philosophy is about. So what is this? Now, when we play in a mud, the whole body, the dress get dirty, and then we change the dress. So does that mean that person is changed? No. So that similarly, when our body becomes old, the soul leaves this body, takes another new body. As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material body, giving up old and useless ones. So why are you lamenting killing Dronacharya and Bhishmacharya? They are anyway old. They have to die any day, one day, right? So they're going to get a new body. And definitely Bhishma, you know how he died. He had a glorious death, seeing the Lord and Ichamrityu and chanting Vishnu Sahasranam, right? So definitely he went back to Godhead. He got moksha. So why are you lamenting, Arjuna? Don't start fighting. So Krishna is giving a lot of answers. As a person puts on new garment, giving up old one, the soul similarly accepts new ones, giving up the old and useless ones. So this is the consciousness which Mataji was saying. At the end, Bharat Maharaj thought of a deer and became a deer. So consciousness is very important. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam klayadayantyapo, na shoshayadi maruta. This is about the properties of the soul. Soul can never cut into pieces by any weapon. Arjuna is pulling his Gandiva bow to kill their cousins. Now Krishna is saying, you can't cut the... Please don't spam the chat. I am going to close it. It disturbs the whole class. Okay. The chat is open just to put answers for the questions asked. The soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon. So Krishna is saying, Arjuna, you don't lament, because what is happening is, with your Gandiva, you can't kill them. They are spirit soul. And you cannot burn the soul with the fire, nor moisten with water, withered by the wind. These are the properties of the soul. Okay, you can see the soul is invisible, inconceivable, immutable, and cannot be moistened by water, not withered by wind. Soul cannot be cut into pieces, nor burned by fire. The external body might get hurt, but the soul, the property of the soul is that Jadasya hi drivam mrityur drivam janmamritasya cha tasmat apariharyarte natvam shochitam arhasi. One who has taken birth is sure to die, and after death one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. So Krishna is saying, anyone who have taken a birth will die. So Prabhupada was giving an example. A child is born, okay, just 1 day old. Yesterday he was born. And Prabhupada says, you say that 1 day is decreased from the lifespan of that child, right? It's not the child lived for 1 day. It's like the child already died 1 day from his lifespan. So everything is written. Our lifespan is written, right? Based on our karma and everything, it is fixed. Now, so that means everyone have to die. Even Brahma has to die, right? When Hiranyakashipu asked for a boon from Brahma, he wanted immortality. What did Brahma say? Even I die, Hiranyakashipu, I can't give that boon. Brahma bhuvan arloga punar avartina Arjuna, right? Even you go to Brahma's world, there is birth, death, old age, disease. Actually, old age and disease is not there in the higher planets, because the demigods have drunk Amrita from Samudram and then Leela. So they don't have Janma and Mrityu and Jara. I mean, Jara and Vyadi, they have Janma and Mrityu. So one who have taken birth will definitely die. And after death, one is sure to take birth unless they got liberation. Once you get liberation and moksha, there's no rebirth again. Okay. So all created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in the interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So what is the need for lamentation? So this is again for Arjuna getting lamenting indecision, right? Dehi nityam avadyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natam shochitam arhasi. Soul who dwells in the body can never be slain, therefore there is no need of lamentation. So Arjuna is lamenting and Krishna says no need, because you're spirit soul, you're not this body. Hatova prapshasi swargam jitva va bokshase mahim tasmat uttishta kaunteya yudhyaya krita nishyaha. Now what are the two things? Now Krishna says, you are saying no enjoyment. There are two things can happen. If Arjuna win, what will happen? And if Arjuna lose, what will happen? Can someone unmute and say, what will happen if Arjuna win? Why Krishna is saying, you will enjoy both the way.
If Arjuna wins, he will get the kingdom. If Arjuna loses, he will go to heavenly planets.
So that means both is enjoyment, right? In both ways, yes, he can enjoy. Yeah. Okay. So yes, that's answer. So if he wins, he's going to get the kingdom. So it says either you'll be killed in the battlefield. If Arjuna is killed because he's pious, he'll be heavenly there, or you will conquer the earth kingdom. Therefore, and fight with determination. So two things can happen here. You can see here, either the Pandavas will all get killed. That is, there are two things happening in the war. Either you lose or you win. If they lose, if they get killed, they all will go to heavenly planets and enjoy there. In heavenly planets, there is Somaras, there is Apsaras and Gandharvas, and you enjoy there. So that's happiness. If you win, then you get the kingdom. Yudhishthira Maharaj becomes the king and you also can enjoy the kingdom. So in both the way, why are you lamenting, Arjuna? I mean, you are enjoying. You're going to enjoy, right? So he's saying no enjoyment as one of the reasons. So the 5 reasons are getting crushed one by one that Krishna gives. You know, you have seen in the court, you get counter argument, or you cross-examine. I mean, each point gets cut and Krishna is doing this. And Krishna says, fight for the sake of enjoyment. O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of heavenly planets. If, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sin for neglecting your duty. So Krishna says, you are neglecting the duty of a Kshatriya. That is more dangerous for you than running away from your duty. Avashyavadam shabahum vadishyanti tava hitaha nindattastava samarthayam tado dukkha taram nukim. So what is Krishna saying? Your enemies will describe you with unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful to you, right? He's a Kshatriya. For a Kshatriya, defaming, or someone says that he's a darpok, or he's covered, he's hiding and running away, that is more dangerous or more painful than getting killed. So why are you doing this? Okay, the previous one, can someone explain this picture? What is happening? Why Krishna is taking the wheel of the chariot and barging towards someone? Someone is standing here. What is happening here?
Is it Bhishma Pitama?
Yes, very good. And why Arjuna Krishna gave a promise, right? He will not take any weapon during the war. But why is he taking a weapon?
To save Arjuna.
Anyway, you know it, Mataji? Okay, Prerna. Neha Mataji, yes, to save Arjuna from Bhishma.
Actually,
Yes.
Bhim, I think, wanted to see Lord Krishna lifting a,
Weapon. Bhishma. Yes.
Bhishma, yeah, sorry.
Yes, correct. So what happened? Actually, Krishna promised that Arjuna and Duryodhan, both of them went to Krishna, right? Before the war. Yes. And then they asked, what did Duryodhan ask? I want your Narayan Sena. I want your whole army. And what did Arjuna ask? Krishna, you just come. Krishna said, I will come. See, two things you have option. Either you have my whole army, or you can have me. But I will come. I will not take a weapon. I will not fight. That's what Krishna said. I will not fight. So Duryodhan was thinking, if Krishna comes without fighting, I mean, he doesn't take a weapon, what is the use? He was not knowing that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He can kill anyone just by his glance or with his hands. He doesn't need any weapon. But that's the promise Krishna said, that I will not take any weapon. So that was Krishna's promise. And Bhishma also gave a promise that he is going to kill all the Pandavas, the 5 of them, with the 5 arrows. So Bhishma had his arrows with him ready. Okay. Now Duryodhan was all very eager to know Bhishma's plan. So Duryodhan at night went to Bhishma's the tent, and asked Bhishma, why are you taking so much time? Please kill the Pandavas. And Bhishma showed the 5 arrows and said, see, I've taken a Shabata. Bhishma have taken a promise that he will not get married in his life. He took that vow and he kept the promise. That's how a Kshatriya is. He kept the promise. Bhishma is known for taking such promises. So Duryodhan knows that once Bhishma promised, he will not break it. So he had 5 arrows with him ready. And he said, tomorrow I'm going to kill all the Pandavas. So Duryodhan was so excited. He was like, wow, Bhishma is going to kill. And Bhishma says something, he will do it. So Duryodhan, after overexcitement, told Bhishma, give this 5 arrows to me. Anyway, you're old. If someone comes and takes that arrows and go, then it will be all flop. So give these arrows to me. I will keep it safe. So Bhishma Dev gave. So Duryodhan had these 5 arrows with him. Long back, Duryodhan had given a boon to Arjuna that he can ask anything from him. That time Arjuna didn't ask anything, but now it was time. So Krishna knew everything what was happening, that Bhishma took a vow to kill the Pandavas, and Bhishma have the 5 arrows. Now that is with Duryodhan. Now Krishna have to plan something. Arjuna was deep asleep, always sleeping. Nobody was knowing what's going to happen. Krishna knew. And to protect his devotee, Krishna did something. Krishna called Arjuna, woke him up and said, you remember once long back, Duryodhan gave you a boon saying that you can ask anything from him. Now go to his tent, ask him the 5 arrows which Bhishma gave. Arjuna was like, what is happening, Krishna? Why are you waking me up in this middle of night? Krishna is like, just do it. Whatever I said, just go. And Arjuna, as a pure devotee and friend of Krishna, went to Bhishma's tent and asked, Duryodhan's tent, and asked for the 5 arrows. And Duryodhan gave. And Krishna was standing behind and smiling. And Bhishma saw this. Bhishma knew that this was Krishna's plan. So Bhishma is like, you destroyed my vow. You broke my promise that I thought of killing the 5 Pandavas, and you played a trick on me. See, tomorrow I will break your promise. So Bhishma wanted to break Krishna's promise, that Krishna's promise was that he will not take a weapon. So Bhishma put a lot of arrows on Arjuna, and Arjuna was about to die. Krishna jumped from the chariot, took the wheel of the chariot, and was barging at Bhishma. Why? To please Bhishma. Bhishma is also Krishna's pure devotee. So Bhishma wanted to break the vow of Krishna. Krishna did that, and Krishna says, for his devotee, he will even break his vow. So he doesn't. And so that's a nice pastime what happened. Okay, so I think we can end here. So we have completed 36 slokas here. And next week, we will take the next half. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Any questions? Harshali Mataji, did you post the Bhakti Vriksha groups here?
No,
so there are 2 Bhakti Vrikshas going to happen, one at 6 a.m. Yeah, can you do that? So all of you, please don't leave. I want these, because only you all are attending the class regularly. So if we post in the WhatsApp group, everyone will simply join and they won't be attending the Bhakti Vriksha. So I want sincere devotees to attend. So Mataji will be posting the 2 links, one at 6 a.m. and one at 6:30 p.m., the different timings. Whatever is convenient for you, please join the WhatsApp group. This is a study group. Now, I have discussed 36 slokas and first chapter since 2 weeks. Now, Monday to Friday, you all will get together. You have 2 or 3 days of meeting and like 45 minutes discussion. You read through the purports of Srila Prabhupada. If you have any doubts, you ask your Bhakti Vriksha leader. If that leader cannot answer, they will get back to me and I'll clear the doubts. So you are forming a study group, a close group where you all sit together and read. And then you come to the next week. Okay. And then all of you start doing your quiz in LMS. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Shruti Kirti Mataji, you have a question?
Yeah, thank you, Mataji, for this nice session. So I had a query in that 2.2.7, chapter 2.2. Yeah.
Karpanya Dosha.
Yeah, you want to display that?
Yeah, what is the question? That Arjuna surrenders to Krishna. That one, right? 2.7 is that?
2.27.
Oh, 2.27. Okay. Yeah, what was the question?
Yeah, I just wanted to see that sloka. Yeah.
Oh, you want to see the sloka? Okay.
2.2 is 27. So I can...
Jadasya hi dhruvam mrityur, like one who have taken birth is sure to die. And after death, one is sure to take birth again. Yeah.
Yeah, there are 2 questions related to this because multiple philosophies tell different things, but definitely as I follow Krishna consciousness, it's like we talk about these koshas but body is also a temple, right? Only because the body is there, soul is able to express it.
Yes.
And I had a query in that 4 lakh birth you told, right?
Yes.
And also apart from 4 million or 4 lakh, the numbers, I'm not sure. We also take animal birth. But at the end of the day, because of a karmic account, based on that actions, we take that particular type of birth, type of conscious birth as a human type of human being, and also as a different type of animal. right? But still a body is required, which has those panchakoshas and also that mind intelligence you said. So I'm always lost there. It's like, then without the body, how you can clear up all your karmas? How will you be able to demonstrate, how will you be able to experience the Krishna consciousness and imbibe it in your daily life? That is one question.
I'll clear this one first. So, you know, animal don't have karma. If a lion kills a deer, the lion doesn't have a karma. You know that?
Okay.
Animal doesn't have a karma because he can't differentiate. He doesn't have the intelligence to differentiate what is right, what is not. So first, you're in that 84 lakh species, first life is a human life. And you did all of us did some sin. Because of the sin, we are supposed to suffer. Either we go to hellish planets or go to an animal life. Okay. So once I'm in the body of a lion or deer or anything, then whatever karma was there in my human form, I suffer. And then once it's over, the period is over, I go back to a human form. Again, if I increase my consciousness, as you said, because of the mercy of Guru or Vaishnavas and Krishna, by the mercy, you come to know about Krishna and you live in Sattvagun, then you elevate yourself. You go to a higher consciousness level in your next birth. But again, if you go to Tamoguna and all, we can go back to a plant life or an animal life or an aquatic life. So based on the karma is basically in the human form, not in any other species. Okay. So that is one thing. And yes, body is required, as you said. Body is also important. It's a temple because Krishna resides in our heart as Paramatma. That's why we wear Vaishnava tilak all over our body, and we respect the body because even though it's temporary, it is used to reach the higher goal. So yes, so body is also important. So, but more important is the soul. Just taking care of the body doesn't give the right aspect, right? It's not the right thing. What is your second question?
Yeah, the picture what you depicted, right, from the birth up to the age-old man. And then we go, again, we take rebirth. But Krishna or Vishnu, like when you follow, they say we need to cut the birth and death cycle so that we don't again come back in a human form. We go take a birth in a pure land.
Yes. I mean, spiritual world. So it is said, Mukti Pradadam Sarvesham Vishnu Reva na Samshaya. I mean, the liberation can be given only by Vishnu or Krishna. So once you become Krishna conscious, or once you chant the holy name and try to go back to Krishna, then Yat Gatvana Nivartande. Once you go there, no more coming back. So we'll definitely go to Golak Vrindavana Vaikunta. There's no rebirth. You end the birth death cycle. Okay. Okay. So I'll take one question each. Neha Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Oh, that question about heart when you do a surgery. So I was just thinking of that. So what's the answer?
Yeah, so what happens there is when there is a heart, defective heart, it is just an organ, right? It's just a material thing, like a body, made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether. Now the soul is residing inside the heart. So I am, an example given is, I am sitting in a chair and this chair is defective in the sense one leg of the chair is kind of broken. So what do? I get up, I sit in another chair, and then a carpenter comes and repairs this chair. Once this chair is repaired, I come back and sit in the same chair. Similarly, our soul is in the heart. Once it is defective and we are getting an organ transplant done, I mean heart transplant, the soul moves from the heart to these chakras, especially between the eyebrows, and it moves there and it stays there for some time until the transplantation gets over. And then you take another new heart and keep it. The soul comes back and sits there. But it doesn't mean the soul is taken from that heart. The person who have died, I mean, whose soul is left the body, we take, once brain death happens, we take the soul, the heart, right? That's there. The soul is not there, just an organ. But the soul in my body is still there, and it moves from my heart to the chakras. And once my organ is replaced, it comes back and sits back. So that's it. Okay. So there is no two souls involved. It's only the one soul there. Yes, Prabhu, Ramesh Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
The question is that somebody did some sins and got into the animal's body. If he goes to hell, then different thing. Gets into the animal body, like he becomes a lion, and now he doesn't understand that what is right and the wrong, differentiate. So then how does he come back to the human life or go to Krishna consciousness? Means whether once he finishes this pap karmas, does he automatically transfer to the human life or somewhere where he can again get an opportunity to come out of this chakra?
Yes. So this question was asked by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Haridas Thakur. What will happen to all the plants and animals? How will they get delivered? So Chaitanya Haridas Thakur, who's Namacharya, said, don't worry. When the Vaishnavas chant Hare Krishna loudly, when we do Nagara Sankirtan, all the plants and the animal species gets benefit. So what happens? They'll be in the animal body or a plant body. Once the karma, whatever bad karma, that's over, again they'll get a human form. Now, a Vaishnava, if that human form is in sadhu sangha with devotee association, or by the mercy of a guru, or someone, someone became a cat in a devotee's house, what will they feed them? The cats will be given milk. That milk would have been offered to Krishna. So he's taking prasad. Or an insect might be, when you chant Hare Krishna, there might be some cockroach or lizard or mosquitoes in your room. Even they are hearing the Harinam. So that also helps the soul to get a human form and go to Krishna consciousness. So this is Ajnada Sukriti. These are the Ajnada Sukritis. Unknowingly get the Sukriti to go back to Krishna. And that's the mercy of a Vaishnava. So this is very interesting to know that when you chant, even the small animals and insects will get liberated or will get a chance to get a human form and go back to Krishna. Okay.
But what about those creatures, Mataji, who live in deep sea or deep forests?
Yeah, they will take a human form. They might be in Tamogun, but slowly they will elevate, and it will take so many janmas to go to that level. So it's not easy. Bahunam janmanamante. Yeah, once the past karma. Yes, papa karma is over. Tesham tu antakata papam jananam punya karmanam. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that after the end of papa karma, your punya, then you go back. Yes. Prerna Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Please join the Bhakti Viksha groups that's posted in the chat. Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, this chapter 2 quiz we have to attempt, or we will once we finish it, we will be attempting the quiz, Mataji.
It's up to you. You see, once you keep reading it, you can do it in your own pace. You don't wait for me. If you wait for the chapter to over, it's well and good. It's up to you to do it. Okay, it's up to you, because each one have their own reading style and everything. So once you're ready, if you think you can do the quiz, go for it. Okay, I'm not giving, but you should finish whenever you're free. Nanda Kishore Prabhu, you have a question? Suraj Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Mataji,
yes.
Can you please send the PPT in the group, or is there any course material for this course?
Yeah. So is it there in the LMS, Ananda Mataji? Anyone knows? Harshali Mataji? For level 1, it's there.
Sorry, Mataji.
Level 2, it's not there. No, the PPTs in the LMS.
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
Okay.
But when you answer the quiz, you get the verse reference. Everything. It means you can read the whole purport, everything, Mataji, like all the references. Very nice.
So Suraj Prabhu, so we won't be sending the PPT as such, but when you do the quiz, as Mataji said, there is a reference given. So the whole thing will be there. You can read. Sujit Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, my question is, why Krishna chose Arjuna, not any other Pandavas?
Okay, so this is a nice question. This is the eternal associate. Arjuna is Vishaka Saki. So you know the Ashtasakis. Did you see the Mayapur temple? ISKCON temple. Radha, Madhav is there, and also there are Ashtasakis, Lalita, Vishaka, Indulega, all that. So there are 8 Sakis. In that, Vishaka Saki is just close to Radharani. She's the expansion of Radharani. So Vishaka Saki is Arjuna. So Arjuna is specially chosen. It's also given that he is a dear devotee of Krishna, close friend of Krishna. So all these, and soft-hearted, all the kind-hearted, these are all the qualities why Arjuna is chosen. Because he's Vishaka Saki, he's the eternal associate. And the Lord always, when you want to play some sports, or when you want to go for a trip, you call one of your close friends. Similarly, Krishna chose one of his close associates. When Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Arjuna came as Ramananda Rai. So they're always together. Okay, so that's why. Yes, Shruti Kirti Mataji.
Yeah, Aisvarya Mataji, I had a request. I think for the course material, last week they had sent the YouTube link of this session. So it'll be
that will be sent.
Yeah,
Yeah, every time. Yeah, in fact, I'm preparing a playlist where you'll have all your level 2 classes in the playlist. You can just keep watching it, okay, in the playlist.
So we can refer that and attend the quiz, right? Okay. Thank you, Mataji. See you.
Yes. And everything in the class won't be in the quiz. I mean, everything what is covered in the class is not in the quiz. It's actually more in the textbook. I mean, in the book. If you eat the main purpose of quiz is to make you read Srila Prabhupada's book. So whatever, I may not cover everything that the quiz questions in the class, because then what is the point? So you need to read Prabhupada's book. That is our main intention, because these books are transcendental. And Prabhupada said, I have not written it. Prabhupada himself read his books. He says that Krishna dictated. So read through the purports. Might be some analogies I may not refer in the class. We don't have much time. So when you sit in Bhakti Vriksha group, study group, and you read through it, then you will able to answer the questions more properly. Okay, Mataji. So see the class at the same time. Also, you read books. Yes, Prabhu and the Kishore Prabhu. I think it's clear.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, you have any doubt?
Yeah, no, just out of this thing, I just wanted to ask, is there any authentic source or proof about life and after death? What if we know there is nothing sort of like this after the death? Does anyone confirm that he or she someone in earlier Janma and now is another in this Janma?
Yes, in YouTube you can see there's so many kids. I think it was recorded in a foreign country. So many kids were having past life memories, and they will come will be taken birth with a birthmark. Someone had a birthmark here of a gunshot, and he could remember that he was a army person, soldier in his previous birth. And also that is Shanti Devi, no? What was that? Mahatma Gandhi inquired about her, the reincarnation of Shanti Devi. That's also there in the YouTube. You can see it's very trending. That girl, Shanti, she was born in a different place, but she could remember that she died in childbirth, that she could remember her husband and child, and she lived in Madura. And even Mahatma Gandhi was so interested to inquire about this, and he sent a group of people to inquire, and they took that girl to that place. She could identify her husband, her child, everything. Her child was 10-year-old, she was 9-year-old, and she could say that I was so and so in my previous Janma. Everything crystal clear. And they do hypnotism, and then they come to know that she is right, telling the right thing. And also there is near-death experience. There is also out-of-body experience, Prabhu, that you can see. Ask someone who underwent a general anesthesia during surgery. They say that they could see everything what was happening in the surgery room. I mean the operation theater. How they have their general anesthesia was given there. So that means, and then someone facing death very close. I mean they almost about to die, but then again they get a second chance. So many experience where people say that they're not lying, because when you see do the lie test, it is given, it is proved that such things happens. And in Shastras also proves that yes, the rebirth happens, and some of them could remember. Not everyone will be able to remember. Krishna only gives you the remembrance and forgetfulness, but yes, some of them could recollect, and these are all proofs, living examples. Okay, you can just Google, or you can just put in the YouTube and see. And reincarnation of Shanti Devi is so famous that it proved that reincarnations are there. Okay,
thank you.
I'll try to share it in the group. Okay, Hare Krishna. I think we can close here. So Nandita Mataji, we have 2 Bhakti Vriksha groups right here.
Yes, Mataji.
I mean this time.
Yes,
okay, so they can join either at 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. or 6 a.m. Tuesday, Saturday, 6 a.m. So please join one of these WhatsApp groups according to your convenience. And then you will be having classes, a small, I won't be there, but there will be a Bhakti Vriksha leader, and you can read through the purports and discuss. If you have questions, you can get back to me. Yes, what's this, Bangera, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam.
I'd like to know the lifespan of Lord Brahma.
Okay, it's given 311 trillion years. Trillion. Okay, so actually Brahma is actually a position. Yes, Keta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this was about the classes. So every when I join Tuesday morning batch, it will have 2 days class, right? And the Monday batch, that is the evening batch, they'll have 3 days per week.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
So, no, in the sense that's up to the Bhakti Vriksha leader. The Bhakti Vriksha leader is available. You can do it 2 days or 3 days. That's okay. You can just sit together and read. Rest of the reading you can do individually. In the Bhakti Vriksha, what will happen is that's a small study group. You come to know each other, because in the class you won't be able to know. And then you sit together and read through the puppets, and the Bhakti Vriksha leader will explain more. I mean, now it won't be a time. So he or she can get back to me if there is any questions from your side. You can also go reading and then start doing the quiz. So Bhakti Vriksha is basically to make you read books. Okay. So 2 days, 3 days, it's okay, Mataji. I mean,
okay,
you can choose.
No, I just
okay,
had a doubt whether it is only 1 day per week, either or kind of a thing.
No, 2 days, 3 days. It's up to you. If whatever time you are convenient, you can attend. Okay.
Yeah, and I like to thank you for the beautiful explanation that you have given for the heart transplant example.
Yeah,
and many others.
Yeah, that's in the book called Science of Self-Realization. If you buy for level 1 books, Bhagavad Gita, Science of Self-Realization comes, that's called Atma Gavesan. And in that, there's a heart surgeon who had a discussion with Srila Prabhupada, and this is mentioned in that book. Beautiful book. It's not about God or Krishna or anything. It's just pure soul, about soul and all that. So that book is really good if you could read. Okay. Sure. Yes, Aishi, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanot Pranam.
Oh, yeah. Can you unmute? Where are you? Hare Krishna. Yes.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, I want to ask that I have joined both the groups. Will that be okay? Or need to join only one group?
Better to be only in one group, na? That's because
Yes, Mataji, you are saying something.
Yeah. Why you want to be in both the groups? Because
I cannot be regular in one
like
group,
morning and
right.
evening. Arshali Mataji, what do we do? Nandita Mataji, such case.
It's better to join only one group. Even if she misses one, she can do the self-study at home.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji. And we have a restricted number as per Ramanishtadas Prabhu's instructions. So
yes,
we can't take somebody else's place.
Yes, we have like small group, Aishi. So if you are regularly attending one group, better continue that group, because you can give chance to some other devotee who wants to be. And there's a small group, 10-15 of them. Okay. So
yes, Mataji.
Just try. Okay, try. Okay, Hare Krishna. I think we can end here. Vancha kalparupesya kripa sindhupe evacha patidana pavanipa vaishnavepo nama nama anand kodi vaishnav vrindi ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Nandita Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.